Hi guys, hey, how you doing? I got my hands on a Roland KT-10 bass drum trigger pedal, courtesy of my mate Nick Pansini over at Drum Factory Parramatta Way. Gave me a call yesterday and said, hey, this one's arrived. It's the only one we got in the shop, because originally I think he ordered about 3 of these, and this is the only one that arrived. So I got there damn quick. Anyway, so what's the big deal about with this? Well, in the past, I used to use one of these. You know, I still might use this every now and then. It's a KD7, Roland KD7 trigger pad, which is attached to a DW pedal, and it has a reverse beater, as you can see, working like that. Now, while that's all well and cool, if you just had a purely electronic sort of setup, if you've got an acoustic bass drum, and you wanted to have an electronic trigger pedal to the side of that, it'd be a pain in the bum. Because basically, you see this? That's the only thing that will be moving around. And if you've got your bass drum head here with your acoustic pedal here, you can put these virtually side by side. I'm going to do a video of an acoustic electronic sort of setup, but I hadn't had time to sort that out in the garage at the moment, so I'm just going to use my electronic setup over here and show you the possibilities that I've got with this thing. Okay, now, with my electronic setup over here, the basis of it is an Alesis DM5 kit. I've added another module, a whole bunch of different pads. These used to be the original cymbal pads, cymbal triggers. And quite a while back I added these Alesis dual trigger, crashes, triple trigger, the ride, and so forth, hi-hat. Now this hi-hat I run through my Roland SPD20 Octapad. This is a slightly older model. This the SPD30 is out on the market, but honestly, it certainly sort of works for what I need. I run one of my Roland snares through that, so that's going through the Octapad over here. The hi-hat goes through there with its corresponding hi-hat pedal, and I'm also running this old Alesis pad through there as well. Reason being is that if I want to then go for a snare with effects on there, in that case it's a delay, I don't have to fiddle around with the rest of this kit over here. I like mixing and matching sort of snares and so forth, whereas it's a pain in the proverbial to have, okay, one rock kit that's in there, okay, that's got like 1 or 2 set snares, then you've got to go to another similar sort of kit and so forth. Why do that when you can mix and match just like you can do in the real world? Okay, so, bit of the pedal setup. I like using my double pedal. Now I don't use it just for, say, going da 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 da, that sort of stuff. It's always really cool for quick little rolls. You know, like get a little bit, you know, a more funky sort of figure. You know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's why I have an auxiliary hi-hat over here. And even if I didn't have my double pedal, I like using an auxiliary hi-hat, a secondary hi-hat. That's with my acoustic set and my electronic sets and so forth. And the reason being, it just opens up things so much. Anyway, as I was saying, a couple other things with the kit. With Roland devices, I've got a Roland kick drum pad, because the old Alesis pads just aren't worth it, you know, as far as kick pads are concerned. So I've got them for my toms. They still do the job, they're fine. Eventually these pads I'm going to replace with one of these Roland BT1 bar pads. Now this one I've got a cowbell here, because I like using things like additional percussion. So if I had an acoustic set, I would have like my whatever amount of toms, might have 2 rack toms, a floor tom or 2 floor toms, whatever. But I like to have like some percussion or a secondary snare over here. And with electronics, instead of having the cart, say for instance I wanted to have a snare drum and a timbali and maybe a conga and so forth, I could just go, alright, here's one snare pad over here, small module, change sounds on it or whatever, And then I thought, well, you know, I like using octabands, you know, the tubeless sort of drums, but they're just such a pain to cart around. So I've got the octapad, and lo and behold, I've got some octoband sounds that I've created on there. Now, so using this has the delay, which allows me to have delay in that snare. I've chosen not to run a delay through here. It's just basically using your effects sends and so forth. Okay, so anyway, getting back to this, the KT-10. Now, obviously with an electronic sort of kick setup, etc., I wouldn't need to have an electronic kit on this side. Although what I do have, I have an old Alesis, what was an Alesis hi-hat pedal, which I now have on this side, and for instance, I've gone for a more electronic sort of drum sound. That's one of the old Simmons, you know, the classic 80s hexagonal sort of pads, but the bass drum pad for over here, whereas here, acoustic, sort of more acoustic sounding. So I thought, okay, with this electronic set at the moment, I can have, say, something like cowbell or a tambourine or whatever for my left foot. So I'm putting this pedal to the left of my hi-hat pedal over here. Okay. In this case, what I've decided to go for was a hand clap. So I just did a little bit of playing along. I might use my secondary hi-hat over here. Yeah, got to say stuff like that. If I take the effects off over here, I'll do the same thing again. Things like that. So anyway, so I thought I should just give you a short little demo of that pedal, and give you a little bit of explanation of how it just really works. So unlike the reverse beater, working up and down like this, what you have here is you have a kind of like, works like a one-piece sort of strut that's over here. This pedal moves downwards. There's a spring that's over here, which then in turn levers this beater up this way. So it's just like a rounded metal sort of surface, and it hits this kind of like pad surface. It's got like a kind of a feel to it, very similar to, like, you know, like imagine the hardened version of an old mouse pad or something like that. You know, remember using mouses with computers and so forth. So it just hits up against there. There's obviously the pickups over in here, and it's got a really cool feel. It doesn't feel any different than sort of playing like an ordinary sort of pedal. I mean, at least for me. You know, I sort of play like with all sorts of pedals. I've got, like, you know, reverse beater pedal like that. If you happen to play a cocktail sort of drum set, you'd have a pedal that's got a reverse beater that goes upwards like this. So because I've been playing that sort of thing, it just doesn't feel any different for me. And yeah, so nice smooth operation. I've been privileged enough to know that I'm probably one of the first guys in all of Western Sydney to have one of these. Yeah, it's just going to improve my kind of like acoustic setups quite a bit, because then what I like to do is to have a Roland hand sonic on this side as a substitute for my snare drum, etc. And it's got some pads in there that I could sort of hit with a stick and so forth. I know Roland sort of say, oh no, you shouldn't use that sort of thing, but in all honesty, I've road tested that sort of stuff, and those pads are absolutely fine. I'm not a slogger when it comes to those electronic sort of things. With the acoustic kit, yeah, I can slog it if I need to. I can be gentle with it if I need to. Electronic sort of devices, you can have a little bit of controlled aggression, but yeah. So anyway, the thing is, I have the hand sonic over there. Just need to run a lead from that to this pedal, which will then be to the right of my main bass drum pedal, and run a lead from the hand sonic into a mixer at the side, you know, if I sort of mic my drums, etc., or just even just hand the lead to the front of house guy, or the guy that's doing like a mix at the side of the stage, and I've got like a few sort of 30-foot leads, etc. And it'd just be so easy to add, because all you do, whack in the stand, put your octapad, put your pedal down, run the lead into there, put a lead into there, and it's just a quick little addition to your set, but it can just enhance things so much, especially if you're doing like top 40 covers, as you know, with like dance music, pop music and so forth. A lot of that sort of stuff will have like drum machine running all the way through, or there's drum machine acoustic enhancements like cymbal overdubs, etc. And wouldn't it be so cool to actually, you front up to your band and say, you know what, you want to go for say such and such sort of song, let's go for that, right? You know, you can cover all sorts of bases. So yeah, so I'm going to have a whole bunch of fun with this, and I'll do a video a little later on with the acoustic set with such sort of setup, and I'll show you how easy it will be just to add just that little bit of electronic sort of spice, you know. So whether you're like me, you're a nut for, you know, big sort of setups, I'm just as content to play an acoustic 4-piece set with a pair of brushes, a pair of sticks, as I am with playing like, you know, more involved sort of setups. But it just gives like a lot of possibilities when you have a few little extra things, such as, you know, additional pedals, you know, and other pads and so forth. Like, look, I've got a cowbell sort of sound over here. I could assign anything onto that sort of thing. It's the same thing with this. I could put a snare drum on here. So, like, for instance, if I went to my module over here and I change that to a snare drum, you know, how cool would this be? You know, you sort of played like this sort of thing for a bit. Snare drum sort of sound, but you're playing stuff up on top. What have we got out here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine if I had a whole bunch of like bongos and congas and so forth. It'd be impossible for you to move. Well, you know, if you are clever enough. You know, you can get more involved to the patterns, you know, put in all your little tricks and drags and so forth. But, you know, you've got the comfort. So that's the really cool thing about with electronic sort of stuff. Even for you guys who just play, you say, look, I just only want to play acoustic sort of things. In all honesty, I think you're sort of missing out. And I'll say this, I used to be an acoustic sort of kit purist for a long period of time, and it wasn't until I went, oh okay, I got like the first octapad, and I thought, oh, okay, that's a cool little addition. I was using the octapad as an addition to percussion, because, you know, I'm a percussionist as well as a kit player, and it just, you know, I mean, like, look, what have I got on here? I've got glockenspiel. Actually, I've got like 4 different sort of tuned percussion instruments here. What I've got here. Vibraphone. I do happen to play a little bit of vibes and so forth. Marimba. What have we got here? I'll just take the effects off over here. Xylophone. But how many of you guys are going to carry a bunch of tubular bells to a gig? Come on. Are you working in an orchestra or something like that? Well, if you're working in an orchestra, that's cool, you know, but you need the real thing, really. But there's a cool little touch here and there. You know? I've got orchestral percussion. Where have I got orchestral percussion? There we go. Instead of cutting the big huge to the bass drum, now I've got that, you know. Actually, no, that's me tips. And the pedal. As we do that. Wind chimes. So I don't have to worry about carrying a whole bunch of, percussion along with an acoustic set. If I was playing percussion and they want all these little tricks and so forth, I can provide that sort of thing as well. But what have I got here? I think I've got Middle Eastern percussion. You know, and so some of this sort of stuff I could actually do with my hands on the octapad. You know, sort of reset the sensitivities a little bit, etc. But now that I've got the hand sonic, I've got all those sort of sounds on my hand sonic as well. So the octapad also tend to have more kind of like percussion stuff that you'd be sort of striking with sticks. You know, I think somewhere here I've got Japanese taiko drums and so forth. You know, it's just a great little enhancement. You know, and there's loads of guys that are using electronic sort of like enhancements to the kit and so forth. So yeah, but anyway, I'm here to basically sort of show you the possibilities with the KT-10 pedal, and hopefully I might get the chance to do a few more videos if you enjoy that. I'll catch you later. See ya.